equally. Yeah. So now we'll start. So you can hold it here.
Wow, that's long.
Yeah. This is about 14 feet long. So I'm gonna help. I'm gonna come out. So boom. We're gonna start. We're gonna stop here. Right? What does that say? The emotional and rational sides of the brain were represented by the vulture and the cobra. Shout out to my grandfather. He was onto something. I'm following in your works. Okay? This timeline shows history. Nabta Playa, 7,000 before the Common Era. Okay? The first archaeological calendar near the regions of the White Nile, near Uganda. You have the Labambo bone, a mathematical artifact carved on the bone of a baboon from 35,000 BCE. You want to hold it here for me, please? Thank you. Yeah, so you gotta keep it stiff. Up and down, what's the best? Like this. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now, the first creation myth comes around, as I said, 4,700. Up here is like where along in time we're looking, and this is what's happening. 4,700 before the Common Era. The first creation myth of Tefnut, Geb, Nut. Okay? The judgment scene of Ma'at, the 42 principles of Ma'at, in which, once again, Acts 7:22, Moses was educated in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. Why is it that 7 or 8 out of the 10 commandments are parallel with the 42 principles of Ma'at? I have questions.
Exactly.
The Dendera Zodiac and the Temple of Dendera. The Happy Nile River of Old Man Happy. Now, let it be known that the oldest bowmen, the oldest record of bowmen came from Ethiopia, Nubia, and the Kushite civilizations of Ta Seti. Ta meaning land, land of the bow. Ta Seti. Okay, pull it up, and then you can hold it here, and then you support it in the middle if you don't mind. There we go. Up and down. There we go. Boom. Okay, stop there. All right,
You
so.
went too fast in history.
Okay, so keep in mind, dynastic Kemet begins with the reunification of ancient Kemet by Narmer, known as Aha, who the Greeks named Menes. In the Narmer palette, you can see him holding many heads of the Asiatics and reuniting his land. This is 3200 BC. Keep in mind, over 3,500 odd years before that, we were already charting the stars. Dynastic Kemet is not the beginning of Egyptian civilization. It's the beginning of dynastic civilization. The Memphite theology, which we just spoke about. Let's look at the Memphite theology and understand. I just gave a presentation about the Twa-Umbuti who found themselves in Asia. And we understand how in India, their trinity consists of a creator, maintainer, and destroyer. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Why is it that in ancient Kemet, we also had a creator, maintainer, and destroyer? Ptah, Nefertum, and Sekhmet. The translation, they moved into the Bay of Bengal, and the narrative changed, but it's the same theology. Edwin Smith Papyrus, we just spoke about. Imhotep, the world's great physician. Let it be known that every doctor that goes through school has to take the Hippocratic Oath, in which they give thanks to Asclepius, a Greek god who they deified out of Imhotep. Every doctor acknowledges and gives thanks to Imhotep in a Greco-Roman version in their doctrine. Okay? This is the literary age where all the papyrus is coming out. Ebers Papyrus, Edmund Smith Papyrus. These are the kings and queens we just spoke about. Epet Isut, Luxor we just spoke about. Now let's get the Olmecs of Mesoamerica. Okay? The Carthaginian Empire of Carthage around 1000 BC. Hannibal Barca and Hannibal Hanno going to bat against the Romans. Okay? Pythagorean theorem, the Pythagorean theorem. Why is it the Pythagorean theorem when the Pythagorean theorem was used to build the king's chamber in the pyramid of Giza thousands of years before Pythagoras? I have questions. Where are we? 500? Here we go. 300 before the Common Era. Where are you? Alexander. Here we go. The Greco-Roman invasions of Persians. Keep in mind, this area here is where Ptolemy Soter, a general of Alexander, wanted to deify himself. He was in Kemet and saw these deities. He said, "I want in." They said, "No, you don't get a deity." He created Serapis. Serapis became the personification of the Holy Ghost. So in this narrative and in the idea of Father, Son, Holy Ghost, keep in mind the origin of this Holy Ghost leads back to the Greco-Roman dynastic era of Kemet. This is a Greco-Roman version of an African story. So even at its conception, the origin of the Holy Ghost finds Greco-Roman Serapeum Kemetic origin.
And it's so interesting because Ptolemy is also a popular astrologer.
Yeah.
And he's known as an Egyptian astrologer because he was like conveniently born there.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting to see that the things that he created were Egyptian in nature. You know,
Yeah.
they were not his.
To the root.
To the root.
You
Absolutely. But he's the one that's credited.
Exactly. Like Serapis. Before Serapis it was Oserapis. But Oserapis was created by using Osiris and the Apis bull. Osiris, Apis, Oserapis. Now I'm Serapis. Now I'm the Holy Ghost. Now I'm Jesus Christ.
Exactly. And now it looks like you created something.
Yeah. Let's get back to the origin. Continue on this way, please. Aksum, the northern Ethiopian Kush. There's something known as the storm of Aksum, where the Ethiopians were pushed southwards and stormed by Semites. Let it be known that there's a lot of controversy about people talking about black Jews and whatnot. Let it be known that the black Jews of Ethiopia, the Falashas, are amongst the first of the Jewish community. Let it be known that the golden calf of Hathor comes from the golden calf of Aaron, or the golden calf of Aaron is symbolic of the African golden calf of Hathor. Two golden cows and two ideologies were the same people intermingling. Moving forward, so this area right here, move forward with me, please. So here, once again, the Black Madonna expressing, or the original Black Madonna. 3 African popes, okay? Where else do we I miss here? Boom, the Yoruba system of the Nigerian, or the Oduduwa. Okay, the Western Sudanic empires of Ghana, Songhai, Mali. Now, the transatlantic slave trade is right here.
Can you look at that?
Yeah, the transatlantic slave trade is right here. So keep in mind, when we start history here, we are giving up thousands of years of history. Almost it didn't happen. Imagine the implications of that. This has been going on for too long. We have the ability to go viral with this stuff. We have the ability to reclaim the narrative. One of the endeavors of a Pan-African is the reclamation and application and preservation of information like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And the last thing that we can show you is, once again, Sankofa is a Ghanaian principle that relates to history, represented by the bird looking back and fetching its egg. Go back and fetch it. We've just gone back and fetched 9,000 years of African history as it relates to world history. Who else is doing that? Sankofa.
And it's interesting because Sankofa is like one of the foundational philosophies of this homecoming program.
Yeah.
The fact that